Hey everybody, you got the Hobby Drifter here again. It is Tuesday, March 30th, 2021 here in beautiful Tokyo, Japan. And what you're looking at here is a stack of theatrical pamphlets. Now, I never like to assume that everybody is totally knowledgeable about the intricacies of seeing films in foreign countries. But one of the things that is pretty cool about seeing a movie in Japan in the theater is that there is merch available. There'll be things like pins or posters, and cards, and plushy things. But one of the things that is almost always available for, again, almost any movie is the souvenir theatrical pamphlet. And these things have been made for basically every movie for decades, going back until, it's got to be at least the 50s and 60s. I mean, I've got pamphlets from the 50s and 60s. But since I've been doing a bunch of Ava videos lately, I've been kind of dusting off my Ava collection. I got my collection of Ava pamphlets here, and I thought it'd be kind of interesting to go through these, because I know there is something of a collector's market for these outside of Japan. And I know this because I've gifted or occasionally sold copies to fans in the US, the UK, and I think one time in Brazil. I think someone from Brazil got one from me. But anyway, I think this is all of them. There might be like a special edition or an alternate version that I don't know about, but I think this is all of them. And like whenever I go to check out a video or something to see if I want to import something or just buy something, they're nice. They're nice quality, nice lighting, nicely set. And then you get the thing in your hand and you're like, oh, it doesn't really look like that. Well, with me, there is no fancy stuff. This is just my overhead light. There is no studio. This is just my wall. So if you're interested in any of these, this is pretty much what you're going to get if you choose to order one. So this is the first one for Neon Genesis Evangelion. It doesn't even say it on the front, but it is the basic program for Evangelion Death and Rebirth. It was released in 1997. I must have picked up this copy when the tax on Japanese merchandise went up to 108 yen. Previously, there were it was only 5 yen tax, so now that it says 108 instead of 105. Now it's up to 10, so it's different numbers. So this is, I'm leaving the sticker on because it kind of reminds me of this time. Thanks, Mr. Abe. Yeah, so we got Evangelion Death, Evangelion Rebirth. Came out in 1997. This is as basic as these programs get. It was sold for 500 yen. At the time, a lot of these were around 500 yen. Now, I think 1,000 yen is more the standard, and some of them are significantly more expensive. I think the most expensive one I bought was like 2,200 yen. That came with like a souvenir DVD or something. So inside you got some, this one's still got the little flyer for some of the other merchandise you can get. So, it's, I'm going to put this down here. It's nice, fully colored thing. There's stuff for Evangelion Death. It's really, the colors are very vibrant. A lot of stuff here from the series. Not super Japanese as a second language friendly, as there's no furigana or anything in here, but this is like the timeline of what happened in the series. Going back from to give you some idea of how not learner friendly this is. Even the numbers are written in kanji. This is the kanji for the year 1999, 2000, 2001, and just going through what happened in the series. And you got some of that beautiful Sadamoto art in there. He was the character designer that I'm a huge fan of his designs. Some stuff about the characters in the story. Stuff about Adam, the S2 engine, LCL, to get you through all the terms and things. Which it's kind of weird because pretty much anyone who went to see this movie obviously would know most of this. But this was a pretty cool thing. I know some people had translated it back in the late 90s, early 2000s. And there's like a lot of info in here if you can read it. And then you get the part about Rebirth. You can see how the animation style was slightly different, higher quality than TV animation. Not a whole lot of spoilers in this one, though that would definitely change. And finally, this was at the time like the best way to get this artwork on just one page. And as I say that, I realize that it does kind of extend over to here as well, but it looks really nice. This is my favorite bit of Ava art, and it drives me nuts that for so long it would always be in a fold, or it would be a puzzle, or it would be like a trifold poster or whatever. Just to have this nice art here is pretty cool. And then the back mentioned merch. All the merch that was available for Evangelion, not just at the theater, but they've got the CD, the Evangelion edition CD. At this point, volumes 1 through 10 had been released on Laserdisc. This is the wonderful New Type book, which collects work from the series. And then, here's all the original character goods that it looks like, you could get these around the time of the movie coming out, like coins and Zippos used to be huge. Like, you get Zippos for everything. Hats, sweaters, this pin set, which I'm definitely going to try to track down, even though, wow, it looked like it would cost 9 pins for 5,000 yen back in 1997. That's pretty huge, considering that set of 3 pins back when Evangelion 2.0 came out only ran 1,500 yen. So there's the very basic Evangelion book. I don't want to speculate on what prices on the secondary market are. I haven't seen this particular book in a while. I think I've only seen them in the wild a couple of times, and they were $1. it was 100 yen plus tax. But I mean, they might have gone up since then. I don't know if there's a big market for these. Next is the special edition program for Evangelion Death and Rebirth, and you can see this time it's that's what's next. So as you can see, it's like a square bound book. It's much heavier stock. This one went for 1,000 yen at the theater. And let's see. And unlike the previous book, this one opens this away, whereas the previous one, that's something else about these programs. There's no rhyme or reason to them. I mean, most of them are around the same size, but some open left, some are left to right, some are right to left, some are horizontal. So you never know. It makes putting them on a shelf just interesting, and it makes when you're flipping through them at a secondhand store, you can never tell which side the cover is going to be on. So you got to be, what's this one? Anyway, so as you can probably imagine, a lot of it is similar to what was in the original, with just way more stuff. I mean, you got individual character profiles for the pilots, for the main characters. That awesome bit of art there. Interviews with the creators. I mean, if I said the other one was not easy to read if you weren't fluent in Japanese, this one is kind of like an actual nightmare, because this is gonna, I mean, maybe not now, maybe with like Google Translate you can get through it in like an afternoon, but this used to be like, we'd be reading these, I have to like look up stroke order in these gigantic kanji dictionaries. This is super text heavy. Dude could not possibly look any more like a Showa era gangster if he tried. Here's the terminology section for everything. Yeah, much more in depth than what you got with the basic program. Here we get into the Rebirth section. The production notes, which if you like this, if you like these production notes, there's the Laserdisc box set includes like all of the storyboards, and there's also the groundwork of Evangelion books, which contain tons and tons of pre-production art. And you got the credits, the credits for the film, and then again there's all the merch. This is a cool looking CD single. I've never seen this before. I've never seen it in stores anywhere. From the look of it, it looks like it's one of those smaller sized horizontal mini CD formats, which I might have to see if I can find that. That looks really cool. Look at the jigsaw puzzle. So many like puzzles and stuff. That classic plastic model kit, just Laserdisc player advertisement. How much did a Laserdisc player go for? Okay, $500, 50,000 yen at the time. So next we got here it is, the infamous Red Cross book. Not this particular one, but I found my first Red Cross book, I think about a month after I first came to Japan in 2006, and I was just elated to find it. This was this like legendary bit of Eva merch that was like spoken about in like hushed tones with the small American, Eva fan base. It was like, oh, all of the information is in this book, and it was only sold in theaters if you went to see the movie in Japan. It was the only way you could get it, which made it seem like this unattainable thing. However, it was in theaters for a while, and they made a ton of these books. I don't know how many they made total, but I have purchased quite a few of them. And these are, like I say, I generally buy these to give away as gifts to other fans, especially when I go back to the U.S. I gave one to a friend of mine who was one of the people who insisted that I watch Eva the first time back in like the 90s. And I came back for a visit. I was like, oh, here, I got one of these for you. And he's like, dude, this is the Red Cross book. I was like, yeah, like, this was really hard to find, super expensive. I'm like, not for me. They have like 5 of these at every secondhand bookstore you go to. And he kind of flexed. He put it in the back of his car whenever he would go to anime conventions, and just like left it in the window, which kind of funny. So here it is. This is the end of Evangelion, the Red Cross book. Just very basic. It's a book. There's a red cross on it. I've sold these for. I never tried to really scalp them, but I have put them on open auction. Starting at like $2, and I want to say that like they've gone up to 50 or so. That was more than 10 years ago. But let's say you were going to import this. What would you get? And so, there's stuff inside. So there is again the advertisement for merch, and then there's we got a chirashi in here for the revival of Evangelion, which has let's see, we got like a clock on here, single-plated, a bunch of posters. There we go. Yes, the telephone cards. Oh, telephone cards. I do not miss telephone cards. back when I first came here, in order to call family back in the U.S., I'd have to go out and buy a card, or at least get like a card number, and you would call this 20-digit number. It would tell you how much talk time you had before you called the number you wanted to, and it was fairly expensive, and you didn't get a lot of talk time. So when when Apple released their iPod Touch with FaceTime, it was like, oh, so I can just call my family for free on video for as long as I want. So, wonder if selling these things ever got the family those things. So here's the end of Evangelion. You open it up, and there's release date July 19th, Saturday, and you're given a whole bunch of the live action stuff first. Very picture heavy. You'll notice, there is stuff that would have been considered a spoiler from Death and Rebirth that is now just part of part 1, which has been dubbed Air here. Cat. And then of course you got all the terms, which, I mean, if you went to see End of Evangelion and you didn't know the terms, oh wow, that must have been a very interesting experience. This is the voice cast. And then the production notes. And the merch. There's the End of Evangelion micro CD single. And all of this cool stuff that you could buy from the theater or around the time of release. So this stuff you had to send away for it. Things like entry plug pen, different pendants, things like that. And the Cardass Masters. The collection figures, things like that. More jigsaw puzzles. That's a cool looking puzzle. So, weirdly, unless you are fluent in Japanese, the Red Cross book is probably the least visually appealing Evangelion program. I mean, the production notes are cool and all, but I mean, they don't, like, visually they don't look very good at all. So I mean, spend wisely. Speaking of things that don't look very good at all, this is the program for Evangelion 1.0. You are not alone. I saw this like opening week when it opened in, I want to say 2007. I was living in Fukuoka, and I didn't know that these programs were a thing, so I didn't buy one. I didn't buy anything at all from the movie either time that I saw it. And this particular copy is in rough shape. I mean, look at this, just yuck. However, it is the only one of these I have ever seen for sale. And I use the asterisk. I could probably get one on Amazon right now. I could go to Mandarake, like a specialty store, and get a nicer copy for however much they would cost. But I don't usually do that. I mostly just hit up, secondhand stores, that are on my way to and from work. But it would be nice to someday get a nice copy of this. But this was the program released for the first Evangelion redo movie. And let's take a look here. Right off the bat, you can see how nice the art looks now. You got some rebuild production art, and very, very text heavy. I mean, you can see here the text takes up probably 2/3 of most pages and 100% of some other pages. Love it. How to rebuild Ava 1.0. It's showing the process. Okay, here's that. Add in this. Put these. Gives you this composite final version. Looks really nice. And finally, we get some of the art, production art, pre-production art. Here it is talking about the theme song, Beautiful World, from Utada Hikaru. Love this song. I've had this song on my iPod now for 15 years, almost 14 years. The cool thing about this movie is there really wasn't a whole lot to spoil, so like they can show you a lot of the stuff. I mean, there was, some new material, like, this, but for the most part, they could show you a lot of stuff visually in here. Oh, okay, I guess it was, they're saying, oh, coming in 2008. No. That was the one thing about these movies, was that it was, Anno saying that, he wanted to do it his way. But, I mean, once again, he changed his mind after everything. These gorgeous Revoltech figures from Kyoto. And then, of course, the UCC coffee. One of the things that really kind of sucks about how the new movie got pushed back over and over again was that this coffee is not widely available right now. I mean, you could order it online if you wanted to, but there's no special edition UCC milk coffee cans, and it would have been nice to have a can or two of this like after watching the most recent movie. And then there's all the merch, the keychains, pens, mugs, a goddamn functioning progressive knife, which is that is cool, and creepy. So that movie, Ava 1.0, was a phenomenal success when it came out, and it was obviously the least spoilery of, I mean, it would have been very difficult to spoil almost anything in that movie, because it was very, very close to like the first, 4 or 5 episodes of the series. From 2.0, though, there were issues with spoilers, because, things changed quite a bit. I liked where they went. Some people did not. But from here on, the programs were sealed. So there's, I love how it's written only in English. I don't know what the deal is with that. But it was sealed, so you had to break the seal. It's a really interesting cover where it folds out. So, and then you get the book itself. And again, showing largely stuff from the series, but also, there's your introduction to Mari. They've always had chemistry, Mari and Shinji, right? Inside joke. You got the interview with Kazuya Tsurumaki, talking about the production of the movie. Here, 4/5 of it are dedicated to text. And I was really excited, when they announced that there was going to be an all-new pilot in the series, and I was like, oh, I can't wait to see what she does in the movie. And it was like, they don't really explain anything about her in the movie. I was like, well, I mean, that was cool, but what the hell happened? All right, so inside you got some of the stuff. And yet, again, like, don't look before you see the movie. You had to, in this part, you know, cut with like scissors. Yeah, Mie Sugi Janai. Like, isn't this a little bit revealing? Like, or literally, can't you see too much? So, what was with that plug suit? It was only shown like the one time, and it was. I mean, okay, I guess that's your fan service. Yeah, and there's the big spoiler. It's like, oh, cool, that. And I guess to a lesser extent, this is like, ooh, it's red now. And for artists, of course, this was just great. You know, you got the character models of basically all of their, I mean, except for the Asuka thing, which is in a different part. But, you know, you see the movie, you know, you get the artistic juices flowing. And, okay, right here, boom, here's your art references. If you wanted to get to work on your fan art, the day the movie comes out, you've got nice artwork of everything, like the character sheets. There's the Ava 4 that's basically just become like the pachinko mascot. Advertisement for Evangelion Q, the Quickening, which came out eventually. So an Evangelion game for the PS3 and PSP that I don't think I've ever played. Again, bugs me that this coffee was not available when I saw the most recent movie, but yeah, you got like some of these cool things, like Asuka with the coffee premium, these little minifigures. Very cool stuff. Advertising that, oh yeah, they're gonna start doing the manga again. That's gonna come back. Love the manga from Sadamoto, but Jesus, it took forever for it to come out. And then you got your stuff from Ava Store here, which is the Nerve Evangelion / Docomo phone, which is really cool, but obviously probably not gonna be on anyone's actual to use list anytime soon. Technology moves quickly. The Revoltech figures were again getting a huge push around this time. And again, look at all this merch that was available. That's one of the other things I like about modern pamphlets is they do, like, if you go to see a movie here, you know, you'll see like this displayed, you know, like the options for like what you can buy, and it's cool just having that sheet, you know. It's a nice alternative to actually buying all of this crap. And inside the thing, do not open this before watching the movie, but you could not see that unless you had already opened it. Whoopsie. So after that came out, we had a significant wait for Evangelion 3.0. And this time they just went full on Death of Superman polybag. And this time they put the do not open this before watching the movie thing, you know, on the bag itself. Alright, so let's see what is in here. Okay, we've got the Ava sleeping? And there's also one more thing in this bag, which is, they call it information. Oh, what information could be in here? Oh, information on advertising. There's Pachinko. There's the album from Shiro Sagisu. Advertisements for the manga, which, by the way, the manga has jumped up in both price and scarcity as far as just regular secondhand stores go. Okay, Evangelion Figure World, which is an event that I wish I would have gone to, which is, a display of Evangelion figures. I've been to Gundam ones like this before, and they were just amazing. I wish I could have gone to this. UCC coffee again. All right, so the information, and then of course here's the merchandise that was available. Paper cutter. Oh, that's cool, like a little bank. Magnet collection, smartphone case, all of this stuff. But on to the program. And this one opens from this side. And it's, yeah, really spoilery. Here's, the stuff from the opening scene. Stuff with Kaoru. I think by this point they kind of figured that there would be a international market for this. So they did a lot more with visuals. And like I said, with the 2.0 program, they knew that as soon as people saw this movie, they would want to get to work on art. So here's full character models for basically the entire cast in whatever outfits that they had. I mean, there's even, close-ups on, okay, here's the gloves, here's what the shoulder pads look like. Misato with and without the glasses. Here's the details on her collar. As much as you could want for, here's the different expressions. There's Ritsuko, Maya, Alba, Hyuga, and Koji. Even the just what they call, like, Ville's people. Gendo, Sakura Suzuhara, the Wunder. It's really cool to have all of this. Here's the the rebuilt Ava 2. Here's with the crazy looking head stuff. Production model, the customs. Mark 9. Even Ava 13, which, yeah, probably a good deal that, we didn't check out this before we saw the movie. I mean, it's like a full-on, character book. Then, of course, you get your interviews and things like that with the voice actors, voice actresses. Nice shot of like the poster. Came out November 17th, 2012, so almost 9 years ago. Earlier poster. So yeah, this one is freaking cool. I mean, I don't know that all of this artwork has been collected anywhere else, come to think of it. I don't know that there were any big, art of Evangelion books that came out after 3 or, 3+1. So just to get that, I would say it's definitely worth it. I do see these occasionally at the secondhand stores, usually without the bag, but occasionally with, and they're still running 100 or 200 yen. on the secondary market here. I don't know what collectible stores charge for them. Alright, so I've been talking now for 35 minutes about these things. I expected this video to go about 10 minutes. But let's keep it going. Here's the final one for Evangelion 3.0 plus 1.0. And again, it is sealed. And again, you can barely make it out here, but it says, don't open until you've seen the movie. And inside we have another thing marked information. This time it's white instead of black. And it's merchandise again. Look at all this cool stuff. From Evangelion store, there's the music. An Ava credit card. So much more. Oh, hey! Hey, there's another Evangelion figure world going on. Oh, I wonder if I can actually make it to this one. Oh, here's a set of pilot figures that are exclusive to game centers. So like the UFO catcher things, like claw machine stuff. Worth pointing out, most of this stuff has been delayed. There was a regular A4 notebook paper type thing that they gave out to people who bought this that had a QR code. Maybe in Battlefields. That you scan the QR code and it just basically gives you this again, but with like the dates updated since everything was delayed again and again due to the ongoing global bastard. All right, so there's all the information on all the stuff you can buy. A lot of this stuff, most of this stuff, all of this stuff, bunch of this stuff, was available at the theater. I went, opening day, 10 o'clock in the morning, so I was able to pick up a few things. Went back to see it in IMAX Laser a week later, and everything was sold out except for the like a card game type thing. So, glad I went. So let's see what's in here. The 3.0 booklet was wonderful. Let's see if the 3.0 plus 1.0 is equally as great. Ooh, got the shiny lettering there. Looks like a sketch type cover. It's really, really heavy paper. And this one opens this way. So there's no rhyme or reason, whatever. If you're like me, you're OCD sufferer, this will probably bother you at least a little bit. There's the posters and the chirashi and things like that. Again, a lot of stuff from the opening scene, but then stuff from the Lilin Village, Village 3 stuff with I call her Ray. They call her was it Sokuri-san? Sokuri-san look-alike. And yeah, I mean there's stuff in here from, I'd say, probably the first, I don't know, two-thirds of the movie. They don't really show a ton from the end, but I mean they do hint at it. Like here's the crazy Lilith Ray eye. I don't think they show the full face, but I mean they show hints of what's going on, especially this. I love this image. This is such a cool image. Like, it's so very different from the famous one of him on the beach. And just again a ton of text, a ton of interviews. This is interviews with Asuka's voice actress, with Mari's voice actress, Misato's, Ritsuko's. I mean, just everyone gets to I mean, Toji, Toji's voice actor gets an interview, and it's, I mean, I was super happy to see what happened with him, because they just wrote him out of the series. Like, yeah, he's gone, get him out of here. So to see, him back was really cool. And same deal with Kensuke. Just tons and tons of interviews, which, if you're into, voice acting and things like that, then checking out these interviews is, very, I'd say enlightening, just to hear, to read like what they were going through after, they've been working on the series for so long. And then just like in the 3.0 and 2.0, you've got, the character designs, so you can get right to work with your fan art and such. Loved the designs of like the pieced together Evas, especially how this one moved. That was like so cool. And you got all the weird looking Evas, the Mark 44, the weird, like the Pink Floyd's The Wall thing, all of this crazy stuff. And Mark 7 with like the skull face, and looks like the Cyclops from recent X-Men books. And there's the credits. And the original poster. They would go back and update this poster a week or two after the movie came out with a few more characters. But I don't know, this is cool. And it doesn't have the, goodbye all of Evangelion thing on it. And yeah. End. It's over. All right, I don't think anyone actually made it through this video. It's we're at about 43 minutes now, but that is all of the Evangelion theatrical programs. Going back to the humble Death and Rebirth Basic Edition up through these gigantic, dense, art-filled, info-packed 2.0, 3.0, and the fourth one. What do you think? Do you collect these? Do you want to collect these? Do you think there's any reason for people who can't speak or can't read Japanese to have these in their collections? Do you want them in your collections? Please let me know down in the comments, and that is going to be all for this extremely long video. Thank you very much. Take care, everyone, and happy hobbying.